What's up fellas, Patriarch Panda here, and evil is just around the corner with the next patch notes, which look extremely exciting, but there's also the fact that we may perhaps get a Season 5, and I do think that's in the cards for us, considering Strive DLC keeps selling pretty well, and the games community is extremely alive, allowing for a competitive scene almost in every offline and online event. It is still a pretty big game by today's standards for a 4-year-old game. Pretty solid, so I think the cards for Season 5 look pretty good for us. In today's video, I want to talk about the things that I want to see change about Strive when we're going into Season 5 and all these different patch notes and all that, in terms of nerfs, buffs and that. I also want to cover potential Season 5 characters that I would like to see and I think would suit the game again, and I'm going for similar guesses again, so that's going to be very fun to work with. I would like to see your opinion on what you would like to be either nerfed, buffed, or what characters you predict coming for Season 5 of Guilty Gear Strive. And if you guys want to help me out, be sure to like and subscribe, pass it about, and check out the kofi if you want to support me in my offline trips that I'm planning for next month and this month. So we greatly appreciate it if you guys want to help out with that. System mechanics, let's get talking about that. In terms of balancing, they've talked about what they're going to change and what they're not going to change. They talked about wanting to change the way Weld Assault works, the way Guard Crushes work, the way Risk works. Besides that, they didn't mention anything else about system mechanics, so I do not think the system mechanics will get changed much besides these three aspects. Now, with the current state of the game, honestly, I think these three aspects need to be changed over anything else, and then we can just do quality of life changes afterwards. Personally, when it comes to the Wild Assaults, I would just stop making them as good as they are. Honestly, they should be only hit confirmed tools at best. On block, they should not be giving you free 50/50s or blue or on red unless they're fully charged up, and white is still a bit of a menace, but there's no real way to challenge that besides making it so it's only charged. And maybe the normal version has iframes, but it doesn't give you knockdown, it just lets you hit the opponent and that's it. I would nerf Wild Assault. And in terms of Guard Crush, I'd probably still keep its plus framage, but probably negate a ton more of its chip damage, more of its risk, and maybe something to do with FDing, right? Maybe still allow FDing for pushback, because some of the Guard Crushes in this game are still absurd with projectiles and all that. In terms of risk, all you have to do is tone that down. Again, with the way the damage works, you can just make it so it does less when it comes to the higher amounts of risk, because melee against Sol dies at 10 risk, and if the Sol has meter, that's it, it's GG's, he wins. And I don't think that should happen in Guilty Gear Strive. That's the things that I think would probably help out in terms of those nerfs. Like, if it's nerfs, then we're perfect, we're fine. If it's buffs, we're screwed. Talking about character nerfs, these are the characters that I think need to be nerfed, being Johnny, Potemkin, Sin, Ram, Goldlewis, and Leo. These characters are absurdly strong with not many weaknesses to them and can kind of do most things. Sin can kind of do everything, so maybe just tone down his damage and allow him to do the conversions that he's allowed to do. Just make it so he doesn't hit like a truck. I don't think he should be dealing the same amount of damage as Kai does, maybe less if he has access to all these different tools. Besides that, he can keep all the tools that he has, and I think that's fair enough. Johnny, you gotta make it so he's a bit more of a character specialist, because right now he does everything. Like, you name one aspect about him, not really anything that you can say he is. Like, he's everything, right? He's a zoner, rushdown, 50/50, mix-up character, plus frame, strike throw. Maybe for an exchange, get rid of some of his 50/50 potential with the Guard Crush, maybe get rid of that and keep the plus frames. Lessen the range of Misfire so he's a little less of a mid-screen threat. That way there's a bit of balance. He's either zoning or he's doing 50/50s. He's not having both. He has to be really good at one or the other. He can't be amazing at everything. Those are small changes, but of course there's more that you can do, like hitting his normals, hitting his confirmed abilities, and hitting his combos. But like, I feel like you've got to kind of make the point that he's either a zoner or an offensive like character. Like, that's my thought on it. Potemkin, I would probably lower a ton of his damage. I like his sauce, it's very fun to mess about with, but you've kind of got to lower down some of the potential. Maybe get rid of the armor and Hammerfall break, and maybe make it so if he does carry Potemkin Buster, he doesn't have armor on it whatsoever. So if he wants the armor reversal, he can't carry it. Maybe make it so the armored version does less damage. Like, an armored command grab giving 40% is absurd at his meter gain. He gains meter as if he has like infinite stocks. It's insane, and genuinely he doesn't stop gaining meter. So I think to hit the character, you need to hit the meter gain on Potemkin Buster or PRC plays, because it's insane. It is insane. She's kind of solid at everything. She used to be a character who's supposed to shine in the corner and be kind of crappy everywhere else. And in terms of the mid screen, she got her conversions, and that was something that she didn't need because that didn't really suit her character strengths, which is someone that plays to the corner. So maybe make it so she could still get the corner carry, but lessen the damage of mid-screen combos and mid-screen conversions, and maybe hit the swords a little bit more, but besides that, I don't see much to change her, because character isn't even popping up as much, but when she does pop up, she's a problem. Golus, he's broken beyond belief, there's no doubt about it. He has insane neutral in terms of the drone, his behemoths are pretty solid, his conversions are insane, he doesn't have a low damage combo, and he has JD. Honestly, hit this character. Either lower down his damage or lower down some of his offensive potential using behemoth cancels, because it's absurd. There's too much that's guaranteed from a behemoth cancel. Leo, he's a difficult one to touch upon, right? Because he's a character that I don't think needs many changes, but he's still a pretty solid tournament competitor that you can see in every tournament in terms of the offline scene, because he's insanely good. In terms of buffs, let's go to the characters that need it, and I would say Bridget, Faust, Axel, Testament, Dizzy, and Zattel all need some type of buff to make them a bit more relevant. But Axel, I feel like his damage is pretty fine, same with his pokage and all that. I feel like he needs some type of offensive tool to kind of allow him to open up the opponent a bit more, because right now he doesn't really have much, and right now the state of Guilty Gear is being absurdly offensive. Axel doesn't really have that. He just holds down neutral, and then when he gets to the corner, it's like, what's he gonna do? He's gonna do normal throw, okay, he's gonna stagger, and then that is it. That's all he does. Bridget, her offense is amazing, her neutral is even pretty solid as well, but it's her damage is extremely lacking, and this is a part of the core character design, so I wouldn't change this aspect. But I'd probably make it sort of defensive options or maybe a little better, or maybe some cash out combos like the big ones hit a bit harder, that way they have some type of way to even up the health field and maybe just boost their health a little bit. Besides that, she does have a solid toolkit, but could use some minor adjustments here and there. Faust is a character that still has an abysmal neutral in terms of the normals, they're still not good. It is absurd how many hurt boxes this character has. If I was to buff it, I'd probably make his neutral a bit better. That, and maybe make it so his items are less reflectable against certain matchups, like against Pot. Don't think mini Faust should be reflectable, but I do think some of the other ones like Hammer and maybe Meteor, and of course some of the weight stuff, but I don't think weight hitting the ground should be reflectable. I just think being able to reflect the weight is all you should be able to get. Testament's a weird character, and players have been able to get results with them, but at the end of the day this character is still kind of lacking. Maybe in terms of offense, they don't really have much besides strike throw. They have triple overhead setups, but besides that, it's not that metal. Give them some type of offensive tool, or maybe a bit more damage to their neutral, that way their single hits in neutral kind of giving them a lot more. Dizzy is a character who needs help, but the thing is, I'm not too educated on Dizzy. I would like to see what you guys think Dizzy needs to become stronger, but if I had to take a guess, maybe it's something to do for mix-up game, make it a bit more scary, because all it is staggers right now. And in terms of defense, doesn't really have much besides that super, so maybe could use some nasty 6p, or maybe a better 2k, or something like that. And Zattel's another weird one. He's a character that can do well, but you won't see him do well that often. And I can't tell you what it is. He's supposed to have weak defense. When he gets caught, he gets caught. And in this state of the game, that is automatically making you a bottom or bottom mid-tier character. So unfortunately, with the state of the game, it's already going against you. So maybe make it so his health is a bit better, or maybe make it so some of his neutral options can be a bit safer to use with Eddie, because they've affected the Eddie gauge to a pretty good state compared to last time. So maybe stuff to do with Eddie, more Eddie stuff I guess. It's everything in terms of nerfing and buffing. I'm not too 100% certain with some of these characters, but at the end of the day, we do need to see a meta change, we do need to see new top tiers, and I want to see this game develop and evolve again. We like it when that happens. The character predictions, this is the fun part. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to be predicting. These are characters that I predict slash would really like in the game. The main one I've got to start with is Jam. This character's already in the game's files as an XR model being tested about, so that means they clearly have some type of vision with Jam being in this game, but they've still to try to figure it out. And I think Season 5 might be the best way to introduce her, as she is a bit of a fan favourite and is quite fun to play with her own unique dragon mechanics. Again, this is another character I want to see return, Justice. I really like Justice, I think she's really cool, I like the neutral, big body neutral doesn't exist in Strive, and I think that'd be a fun aspect to explore, like a big body zoner type that has full screen control, but has the tanky health to actually defend well for when the opponent gets in. I think that'd be fun, and a new aspect of the game that they can develop and mess around with and kind of evolve it, if you will. Big body zoners don't really exist, so that'd be kind of cool. The other one I would have to say is a guest character. As we saw with Lucy, it's definitely a smart idea. A lot of people are very interested in the ending of Season 4 due to the fact that Lucy's coming, and they put a ton of development and time into it, and you're seeing that the arcade is going to be 3 times longer. Lucy's going to have an insane toolkit, they're bringing all of her OST stuff. So I can see Lucy being a great inclusion, But in terms of other DLC characters, who knows, man. But personally, I would like to see a fighting game rep join Strive in terms of like a playable character. And I think a smart option would probably be Ragnar Blood Edge. Because let me put this, this is the big brain. This is how you get people into BlazBlue and trying those games. And not only that, if Ragnar joins Strive, guess what you can do? You can set it up for the next BlazBlue that you're working on. I know for a fact that they are definitely working on a new BlazBlue, or concepted it at some point. It's been 4 years since they've released a fighting game. I know their team's working on Marvel Token, but in terms of like their usual fighting game genre, I know they're thinking of a BlazBlue. Clever option, and Ragnar in this game's art style would look amazing, and he'd be very fun to mess about with. A character that I would like to see from a fighting game though is probably a Street Fighter character. If I was to go basic, I'd like to see Ryu in Strive's art style, as it's a very cool art style. Personally, I'd like to see Terry Bogard, but that's on me. That's on me. Character that I would love to see joining, let's say to go with 4 characters, is obviously Gabriel. This character has been talked about many times from Potemkin Cord. And then, after playing BlazBlue, where they have Iron Tiger and Kikone, hope I'm saying that right, as a team up, it's fun to see that, like the actual military leader and the military fighter both teaming up. And it's fun to watch, to see that through the story and actually being playable characters. I'd love to see that with Gabriel, with a Super Being the Potemkin mech. I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be really cool to kind of like rein in his gameplay, make him a quick grappler. We don't really have that. Make him a bullet-like playstyle, and I'm telling you, it'd be fun to watch. It'd be amazing to watch. And that is everything in this video. Those are my character predictions, everything I'd like to see in the season. In terms of nerfs or buffs, would you believe it, we're still in the same place with some characters still needing nerfs and the buffs. But the list is different compared to when we did it in Season 4. And the character predictions, 2 characters have stayed the same, and the other 2 are different fun guesses. Now, I want to see what you guys would like to see the characters returning, of course. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the Kofi if you want to support my offline adventure. And I will be catching you in the next video, which I believe should be Pandemonium 26. And of course, I'm working on my next grappler video. Can't wait for all that. I'm going to be peacing out, catch you in the next one, and we'll see how Evo goes. See ya.